Help. That would help, yeah. Turning this thing on. Be good? Okay. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's almost Happy New Year. How about that? Can you believe it? Wow. How did that happen? How did that happen? Well, good morning. I'm Courtney Fuchs. I'm Vice President of the Unity Council. Welcome to Unity of Fort Collins. Do we have anybody that is here for the first time that did not get a welcome packet? Or did my welcome team get everybody? I don't see any hands, so I guess we're good. Well, if anybody is here for the first time, please know that there's coffee and treats back there, and you're welcome to have them in the sanctuary, so make yourself feel right at home. Welcome to all our online participants. We have a really big group out there that follows us online and watches our services, so we know you're here with us as well. Our speaker today is Peter Bostwick, and he's going to speak on You Can Choose, and he actually wrote the same title. We have only 2 copies, but they're in the bookstore. They're only $10. We don't have a card in it, but that's what he asked us to charge them. And then they're available on Amazon if we run out, or we can order more. So just let us know if you want one, and we've run out. Our reader today is Miss Kellee James, and musicians John Magny and the choir and some of the band. We have a few of the band members. Yay. Youth and Family is going to finish up the Celebration of Lights program. They've been looking at different religious and spiritual practices and the symbolism of light and how it's viewed in our unity teachings. Doesn't that sound lovely? I love that. Prayer chaplain of the day is Jim Weimar, and he will be there he is, and he'll be in the Myrtle Room just down this hallway for a little bit after the service. So if you need any prayer support, please go see him. Thank you to everyone who was involved in the Christmas Eve service. I got to watch it online. It looked lovely, but a lot of hard work went into organizing it, and so we just thank everybody that participated and helped out in that. Can we have the thermometer slide, Sue? If it's in there. There it is. So, okay, year-end giving campaign is almost over. There's still time to give, but look at this. I mean, we just are so bowled over. So on behalf of the council, first of all, we just thank you so much for your generosity. Unity is committed to thriving, not just surviving, and we want to expand and keep things updated and pay people a reasonable wage, and so this is a really big step towards being able to do that, so thank you all so much. And I want to say a special thank you to Leanne and Mike, who primarily headed up this campaign. They've done a great job of inspiring all of us in why we want to give to this fabulous community. We're unique, and it's worth supporting. So we really thank you for all your support. To continue to give, though, you do have till the 31st. You can give, of course, with cash. If you do that, put it in one of the little envelopes in the pews and mark that it's for year end. If you're giving by check, please make a note on the memo line. You can always give through PayPal, which is on our website, on our front page of our website, or there'll be a QR code on the screen during the offering time. It's also on the back of your bulletin. That takes you straight to Unity's PayPal. And then in the bookstore, we have a credit card machine. So for any of your gifts that you want to make, not just year end, you can use any of those methods, and they're all available to you at any time. So thank you. We have increased the number of handicap parking spots in front of Unity. So if you are needing that, we're trying to get 4. Right now there's just blue paint on the sidewalk, so maybe it's not that visible when you're driving up, but we're going to move the signs and make it more clear. But right in front of those 2 sidewalks that come together to the front door, we're trying to make all of those for people that have mobility issues. So if you'll keep those clear for them, that would be great. On next Sunday, we're having our Burning Bowl service. Did you want to say anything, or you want me to just do it? Okay, I can do it. Well, Burning Bowl is really an awesome opportunity. You write down on a piece of paper the things that you feel like are blocking you from the blessings and all the good that's trying to come into your life. And then we burn that, and we just let it go. And it's symbolic, but it helps us to really visualize and embody letting go of those things so that we are just an open vessel for all the blessings that are coming to us all the time. It's always coming at us, but we just block it. So it's just a beautiful service. Reverend Sharon's going to lead that up, and we're looking forward to that. Sorry, regular Sundays, 10 o'clock service. No. Thank you for clarifying. There will be a prayer chaplain training on January 18th from 10 to 3. The Prayer Chaplain Ministry is a service opportunity for congregants who desire to take the next step in the development of their spiritual growth. It's a unique way to serve the congregants of this church family. If you're interested, please talk to Sharon about that, or just if you want to ask questions, like what does that entail and what is it about? So she's very open to just having you ask questions as well. But if you do want to get trained, January 18th from 10 to 3. The planning has already begun for the 2025 trip to Guatemala, and there are flyers in the front entry, so if you're interested, please contact Mike Hawes. He's not here today, but when he's back, or sign up on the clipboard that is going around. I don't see a clipboard. Maybe there's going to be one later. Anyway, but there's plenty of time, but that is getting planned, so if you have any interest in that, check with Mike. Community Lunch Bunch is heading to La Buena Vida at 11:30, and I almost forgot, sorry, Jim. January 23rd, there's a new class starting, headed up by Reverend Jim. Are you teaching it too, or is it just? Okay, and anybody can take it, but if you ever want to get, if you wanted to get credit towards ministerial, being a minister, I guess, then you can get credit for it as well through this class. But you don't have to take it for that purpose. But it's going to be a really great class. Jim always leads great classes. Jim and Sharon both, I should say. They're always interesting, and they're really open about discussions and letting you speak from your heart. So I've always appreciated their classes for that reason. Oh, thank you, Jim. I was like, I'm not sure. So the group that's currently meeting on Thursdays is going to decide whether it's Zoom or in person and whether it's daytime or nighttime. Is that right? Yeah. So that will be determined, and we will let you know on that. So thanks for asking that, too. Okay. All right. If everybody will just take a deep breath. I just realized I didn't have anybody come up and give another announcement than me. Wow. All right. You want to come up, please? All right, let's say our unity prayer together. Our unity centers us in light and peace, allowing us to recognize God within and to radiate that love to the world.
All right, good morning. Happy New Year's, almost New Year's. All right, I'm going to get some really good help up here. I've got Peter Parnay on the bass, and Steve Amadei over there on the drums. Tom Barber back here on guitar.
And Juan.
And Juan. Hey, Juan. Yeah. Buenos dias. Feel free to sing along here. Sing, oh, Yeah, all right. Now we're awake. I think we should have a little reading. What do you think, Kelly?
I think so too.
Okay.
Good morning. My reading for today is The Sacred Promise of Intentions. It's by Reverend Ellen Debenport, and it was originally printed in the Unity booklet, Today I Am, 30 Days of Living with Intention. How many times have you heard someone say, "That wasn't my intention"? Intention is the motive behind our actions. It's why we do what we do. Most of us would claim that we have good intentions, meaning we don't want to cause harm. But there's a reason we so often hear the aphorism, "The road to hell is paved with good intentions." Words and actions can have unforeseen impacts. They can hurt rather than help, even if we didn't intend it. In a spiritual sense, however, it is possible to choose our intentions consciously, not merely assuming we intend goodwill, but as a means of expressing our divine essence. In Unity and other spiritual circles, you'll hear the phrase setting intentions. In casual conversation, this might sound like setting goals or making resolutions. 'Tis the season. But spiritual intentions come from a deeper place within us. They are declarations of how we want to be, how we want to show up. So we use our most sacred words. I am, meaning our higher self or divine essence to form our intentions. Rather than affirming, "I intend to," we invoke the mystical name of the divine within us. I am. These intentions may result in our speaking thoughtfully or taking certain actions in our everyday lives. But more profoundly, they state a quality of being. Rather than saying, "I am loving," we say, "I am love." Meaning, I am the presence of love. I bring the qualities of love. Love is my purpose. Love is who I am. Among people who set intentions as a spiritual practice, there's a running joke to be careful what you intend. Never declare, "I am patient," they say, because your day will be filled with bad drivers, slow service, crying babies, computer breakdowns, whatever. Maybe you attract opportunities that allow you to carry out your intention for patience, or maybe it just seems that way. Setting intentions allows us to think carefully about how we want to express as spiritual beings in our human experience. Try it, if only for a day, and see whether you can add a little peace, kindness, or gratitude to the world.
Yeah, like that. We make New Year's intentions instead of resolutions. All right, we're going to get a bunch of good singers up here.
We become
Chris and I were here. Called We Become One. Are you ready to become one?
we become one. 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 I'm I'm not sure when this song stopped being about me. When old faces were new faces, spirit shining through. When we seek with the light, souls brighten among us. We touch our hearts with our hugs, sharing what has become of us. We become one. We become one. Shining all together like the waves of the sun. We become one. When we seek to be love, our souls vibrant and hopeful. We give a piece of our heart, a clear and true and wide open. We become one. We become one. Shining all together like the rays of the sun. We become one. 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 I'm not sure when this song stopped being about me. When old faces were new faces, spirit shining through. When we seek to be loved, our souls brighten among us. We touch our hearts with our hugs, sharing what has become of us. We become one. We become one. Shining all together like the rays of the sun.
Transform one of our bass singers here to a message giver. That's right. Peter's gonna step up to the front here. Peter Bostwick. There he is.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! Immediately transformed.
Shifting from the back of the house to the front of the house. Oh. Thank you so very much for having me here today. It's beautiful to see all these smiley faces in person and online. Today I'm going to share a little bit about my story and how I got here. Still hear me okay? Beautiful. Spoiler alert, I wasn't always the person that felt comfortable standing, certainly up front, which is still not especially comfortable, but in the back either. I was kind of shy, very, very, very introverted. But the thing that changed in my life, the big shift that I had, was realizing that I can choose. I am much more powerful than I used to think I am. You are all much more powerful, probably than you even still think that you are. And principle number 3 over there, I create my experience by what I choose to think, what I feel, and what I believe is immensely impactful. And a great example of that is why I'm standing in front of you today. A few weeks ago, when Julie was giving her presentation, I went up to her and said, that would be fun to do, but I really don't want to wait 3 or 4 months of nervousness before I get to talk. And she says, well, good thing, because every once in a while we have someone that cancels. And we'd love to have a backup just in case. Would you be interested in that? That's perfect. Thank you. I'd like it. Meantime, my good friend Courtney comes up to me like 2 minutes later and says, guess what, Peter? You're on for the 29th. So just like that, right? I didn't force it. I didn't push for it, but it's something that I wanted. It was in the back of my mind. Energy was around. I'd like to speak. And then the universe said, okay, here you are. Our thoughts become prayers. Just like that, magical. So many of you probably already know how all this works, right? You're probably experts at mastering your thoughts. You get what you want because you think about it and you relax and you turn it over to the universe to happen, right? Well, that's news to me. It was news to me, certainly. I grew up in a family where depression and being a victim was the way we did business. It wasn't a good way to do it, but it was a way of life, right? You can always be more victim than somebody else. So that's what we did. A lot of depression, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of self-judgment. But in spite of all that, I was pretty successful in business. So I traveled around the country, and actually the world, helping other people solve their problems, just kind of hiding that inside me. And then Beth and I moved out to Silicon Valley, and we decided we'd start a company, because that's what you do in Silicon Valley. You are entrepreneurs. So I knew a little bit about software, so we gave it a shot. How hard can it be to start a business? There you go. Very, 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 very hard. But it worked for us. We were able to come up with a good idea where we had our software and we created an early version of a self-checkout system. This was back in 2008, I believe it was. So we transformed break rooms where you had vending machines sitting out there and turn them into little stores. So we put our little kiosks in there where people can come up and scan the bag of chips or a sandwich or an apple, check out. It worked out wonderfully. We had sold thousands of these things throughout the United States and Canada, hundreds of millions of dollars of transactions running through our little software. But I was struggling. I still struggled quite a bit with depression. The world was very, very scary for me even then, and I wasn't sure what to do. And I found some bullies to work on me being the victim that I was, right? It's amazing how they find you, right? If you ask for them, they will come, and being a victim is the best way to ask for bullies. And then one of our biggest customers decided that they were going to leave us. So we had 6 months to go. So this big operation that we'd built, dozens of employees, all of a sudden in 6 months, we'd have to let them all go. declare bankruptcy, and I was certain that I'd see myself as a failure for the rest of my life. That was tough, right? Sorry, I have to make sure I know where I am. And at that time, we tried to sell the company, what was left of the company, right? I felt pretty bad about myself. The company was, of course, a reflection of that, so people said, no, we weren't interested in what you had. And I remember very specifically sleeping maybe 2 hours a night, thinking about how stupid I was, what bad decisions I made, not just at the company, but in life, what a waste of the potential. And that was the way I did it, right? Still living in that victimhoodness. I'm a loser. And Beth and I looked at each other and said, well, whatever we're doing is wrong. We need to change. We need to let go. And that, of course, is the hardest thing to do when you're struggling for survival, letting go. But letting go is the best thing that you can possibly do, because you may think you know the answers, but guess what? The universe knows a whole lot more than you do. So letting go and being open to what happens was the best thing that we could ever do. All of a sudden, books started showing up for me. I started reading not about business, but about this, right? What goes on in your head. There's a lot of books out there that tell this story. I did not know that. They're out there, and if you listen to them, they speak wonderful to you, right? The biggest ones for me were the Seth books by Jane Roberts. Also Eckhart Tolle, and too many to mention, right? The biggest lesson I learned was I can choose, right? This world is for me. I create this world. And if I can change the way that I think about myself, my world will change, right? I create my experiences by what I choose to think, what I feel, and what I believe. It's right there. Come on, guys. So easy to do, right? And it made a big difference for me. Oh, when I read the book then at that time too. It literally changed overnight. I remember very specifically walking the dog. Actually, I need to step back a little bit. We tried to sell the company. Did I tell you that already? We tried to sell the company. No one said wanted it, right? So I'm out there walking the dog, 7 o'clock in the morning, and it popped into my mind. I should call one of those CEOs that said no. See what happens. So I called him up and said, hey, this is Peter. What do you think? The timing is right, he said. We just bought another company, and what you offer is a perfect complement. What? So I ran home with the dog, said to Beth, oh my gosh, we have a yes. We can do something now. What changed? Right? The market hadn't changed. It was just a couple months. Our technology hadn't changed. We hadn't done anything with it. We were scared to death. The company was probably worth less than it was now than it was 6 months ago or 3 months ago. But what changed, of course, was me. Right? I changed the way I saw myself, and I changed the way the world then, of course, reacted to me. You can choose. You create your experiences by what you think and believe. Magic, right? Well, not quite. Because we hadn't sold the company, the guy just said yes to me over the phone. So we made a trip up to visit him. And this is the experience that transformed everything for me. I was reading a book at that time that said, was a book called by Pam Grout, E Squared, that says, here's 9 lessons to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that you create your reality. And one of the exercises was give yourself 24 hours to have an experience that you can't explain. It's beyond any kind of coincidences. But don't be specific about what you're asking for. Of course, I wanted the deal to close, but that's too tight, right? So just be open to what that miracle can be. So we were up there. We didn't close the deal, but we're on our way back home, me and my investment banker. And at this time, I'm a frequent flyer, so I fly Southwest. Who flies Southwest or has flown Southwest, right? The earlier you are in the seating arrangement, or your ticket, the better seats that you get. Right? If you're the last one on the plane or you forget to reserve your seat, you're in the C group and you get the seat in the aisle seats, right? In the back next to the bathroom in the aisle seats. So on this flight, I'm a frequent flyer, so I get early seating number. But we have a connecting flight. So we're going from somewhere up north to Las Vegas and back down to San Jose. We're late getting into Las Vegas. I mean, really late, like running through the terminal late. They're holding the door open for us. So, okay, here we go. So we walk in, and you know how the people, just like you guys, looking at me like, it's about time. So we're walking in, completely full flight, and I notice there's an aisle seat. There's my magic. So I start to sit down. Again, there's two of us. There's about to sit down, and then the flight attendant is standing in the exit row aisle seat, the best seat in the house, the one that I always shot for. He's standing there saying, "Would you like this seat?" That's magic. That was the magic. That was the miracle I was looking for. My investment banker sat in one aisle seat. I got the seat in the best seat in the entire plane. He was holding it for me. He should have said, "Peter, the universe has saved this seat for you. Would you like it?" So I went down and sat in it, and I says, "Oh my gosh, I do in fact create my experiences by what I choose to think." We ended up selling the company, not quite then, but a little bit later on. I no longer suffer from depression. It does make a visit every once in a while and waves and says, "Hey, I'm here." And I go, "Guess what? I'm not a victim. I'm not letting you in. There's no room for you in my life." So I'm in front of you today, so grateful for the experiences that I've had, knowing that I can choose. And I want to make sure each and every one of you know you can choose too. Thank you. Thank you.
Going along with what Peter was talking about, it's all joy in this.
Our thoughts are prayers. Right? That's what I just got through talking about. In the years since I've had this experience, I've learned to listen to myself. And I learned early on that I didn't speak to myself very well for a long time. A lot of beating myself up. So now I know that the best way to talk to myself is I would a good friend. With love, with space, with forgiveness. So I'd like you all to settle into your seats, close your eyes, and for the next few minutes, imagine that you're sitting with a good, close, dear friend. And that dear friend is you. What would you say to them? What would you say to yourself? How would you offer love and support? You might say something like, "Thank you for being you, just as you are." Or maybe you say just one of the most powerful statements ever. I love you. Thank you. Namaste.
Well, Peter, we're so thankful that you've chosen this community to be affiliated with, and you and Beth. We are so blessed by so many of you that have come to this community and share with us and are involved with us in so many ways. So thank you, and thank you for that message. Thank you. Thank you. So it's time for our offering, and I invite you to take it in your hand and hold it next to your heart. As you're sending a love message to this community, you're telling us you love what we're doing, you love us, because you support us. So thank you for that. So I ask the ushers to come forward. And as they come forward, let's bless our offering. divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, all that I receive. Thank you, God.
And Peter's back up in the band this time. Yeah, isn't that what's great about our Unity Church here is that a congregation member can get up and share some really great stuff with us. Thank you, Peter. And here's a song that he asked to see the set list of songs we do. This is one he picked out. We are just lucky to have a really great lead singer here in Chris McShay. Yeah. The one says, "Put a little love in your heart." Once again, be welcome to shout along here.
Put a little love in your heart. 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 Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand. Put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late. Oh, please don't hesitate. Put a little love in your heart. And the world would be a better place. And the world would be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Another day goes by and still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. If you want the world to know we won't let hatred grow, put a little love in your heart. And the world would be a better place. And the world would be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Wait and see. Take a good look around, and if you're looking down, put a little love in your heart. I hope when you decide, kindness will be your guide. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Yeah, put a little love in your heart. Put Lord, put a little love in your heart.
So we go to a little love to a little light with our children coming out. Okay.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Here on the corner of lights and mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Here on the corner of lights and mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Here on the corner of lights and mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it
Good morning, good morning. Today, we finished our theme of light, of celebration of light for the Christmas. But we celebrated light with pagan winter solstice, and then Advent, and now Hanukkah, because Hanukkah started on Christmas Day. So we talked about Hanukkah today. So the kids wanted to share some stuff with you.
We played dreidel, which is a Hanukkah game, and then this is a dreidel. You can get gimel, which means you get like the whole pot, and then the pot, inside the pot would be chocolate coins like this. And then there'd also be none, where you get none. Shin, where you have to put a coin in. So originally for you get like 20 coins, and then there's high, where you get half of the pot, and each time there's nothing in the pot, you have to put a coin in, and each time a game like restarts, you put a coin in.
They use evergreen for the wreaths, and like evergreen is always green. That's what its name represents. So it's like it represents eternal life.
The lighting of the menorah. So like there's like a menorah for Jewish tradition, and there's 7 days in on like there's 7 candles on the menorah, and each day they light one, and light represents like peace and light.
Well, thank you, Nancy, and thank you to young people and what you've shared with us today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, that's our last service for the year. The end. Well, whenever there's the end, there's a new beginning, right? So next week we're going to have a burning bowl ceremony, and we plunge into the new year with a lot of expectation. And we're thankful for 2024 and all we've experienced together. So let's round up for one last time with our prayer, protection, our peace song. We always seem to fill up this room. I'd like to call your attention to the words on the screen. This can also be said, the light surrounds us, the love enfolds us, the power protects us, the presence watches over us, and wherever we are, it is always with us. Just think about that for a minute. And let's say it together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.